Hello, my name is Renee. Thank you for being here with me. If you clicked on this video, this is the AuthorTube Newbie Tag. So I recently saw Cody, the writer, do this one, and he got it from someone else. I can't remember her name, but that's okay. I have the questions here and we're gonna go through these questions quickly. My 7-month-old is asleep, so he could literally wake up any second and I'll have to dash out of here, which is par for the course, which you will find if you are new here and you will know if you've been coming here. I have 3 kids. I have 3 boys, a 4.5-year-old, a 2.5-year-old, and a 7-month-old. And it is so fun and so chaotic. And it's just the best. It's just the best. So anyway, let's get into these questions. The first one is, what is your book's pitch? If you have multiple works, choose your favorite. My book's pitch, this is hilarious with the first question, because I'm like, I don't know. I just started this second book of mine. I recently finished my first book, which was a collection of short stories and vignettes. And I'm querying it right now. That book, I don't even remember what my pitch was, to be honest. It was, and because it was short stories, it was kind of hard to really pinpoint one specific thing that it was about. But it was, they were all interconnected in that everybody knew each other in the stories. And sometimes you'd hear someone's name from a different story in this story and blah, 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 all those types of things. And that was really fun. Anyway, the book that I'm working on now is an autofiction. So it's autobiographical fiction. So the protagonist shares my name and a few of the things that have happened in my life, specifically for basketball. So I used to play basketball. I went to LMU, and I have a lot of my own experiences as a basketball player in this book that I'm writing, but a lot of the other things are kind of fictional, you know, and that's fun. So to kind of toe that line and what's real, what's not has been really exciting. And so that's what I'm working on right now, and I'm calling it, Is It You? All right, number 2, if you were a book, how would you pitch yourself? Oh my God. These questions are kind of hard. I thought I was just gonna like fly through them. Okay, if I were a book, how would I pitch myself? I would pitch, I should have looked these over before. Is that what people do? That's maybe what people do. Okay, so if I would pitch myself as a book, maybe unexpected, fun, and insane. I mean, those are just words. That's not a pitch, but we're gonna keep it there. We're just gonna keep it there. What do you usually write? I usually write fiction, heavily inspired by real life. So literary fiction. I usually write literary fiction, and I would be open to writing all different types of fiction, of course. But that's where I'm heading right now. That's what I'm doing at the moment. What's something you'll never write? Oh, do we say never? I don't know. What would I never write? Oh, I would never write romance. I just don't think I could do it. No anything to people that do write it. I just can't, will not do it. I won't do it. Yeah, no, won't do it. Okay, so we do say never. What is your goal for starting an AuthorTube channel? Oh no, I've got something in my eye. Did I get it? No, I didn't. Okay, well, we're just, we're gonna thug this one out, I guess. Ooh. Ooh. Anywho, what was the question? What's your goal for starting an AuthorTube channel? My goal is to start, or to be in a community. I just think it's the idea of having people that you can lean on to support you, doing something that is so specific, right? Like writing books is so hard and so solitary, but being able to be talking with somebody else that's literally doing the same exact thing that you're doing, I think is so cool. And making art in general is so unique to the person. And so I think it's really cool to have a bunch of different artists all in one place where they know they can be safe and they can be vulnerable and share their things, and the process of it, really, because the process is really that's like the most vulnerable part, right? Where you're kind of ripping things out of yourself and to create something different. There's nothing better than that. And I feel like I just wanted to start a community here. And then also recently I've been exposed, or I've dove in. Is that what you say? Whatever. I have been immersing myself in the Akashic Records, which is an energetic library of all that is and ever was and will be, kind of thing, which sounds really crazy and vast, and it is, but it's still very approachable. But anyway, I've since been exploring this, and that's the word I wanted to use, explore, and training in this modality. It's like a healing modality, but you can also create in it. And so I also want to bring some of that into my channel now and get it out into the world so that other people can see how cool this thing is. And, you know, I'm not gatekeeping. I just want everyone to dabble because it's so much fun. And let's see, where am I? What made you want to start writing? It's so funny. I just commented this on Lindsay Puckett's channel, and because she is a middle grade writer, and I remember, I mean, we all remember the Scholastic School Fair. It was just like the greatest period of time ever. The planners, the pencils, the cutie little fucking erasers, like, and of course the books. And just like thumbing through the books, I just remember it so vividly. And I also remember getting like a box set of R.L. Stine, Goosebumps. And I would just sit on my floor and I would just take all of them out and just put them on top of each other. And I would look at one and I would look at the cover and I would thumb through and I would smell the pages, of course, like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I just, everything in my body, I remember, I mean, I don't even know how old I was, like 10, 12 years old. And just knowing that I was going to write books. I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to write. I'm just going to be a writer all day, every day. And it's funny because I remember writing in my journal when I was 15 that by the time I was 30, I would have a family and be the author, like a best-selling author, And I certainly was not doing that when I was 30. I was pregnant with my first kid when I was 30. But I remember also when I was 15 thinking that 30 was like 50 years old. Do you know what I mean? So my time was skewed, but by the time I get to 50, I'm already pretty much living the life that I was journaling about, which is really funny. But so what was the question? What made you want to start writing? I believe it was R.L. Stine. If I had to pinpoint it to one thing. Oh, I remember the Phantom Toll Booth. Oh my gosh. I remember the Phantom Toll Booth also was a book that really affected me. And I can't remember exactly what it was about it, but it just really affected me. And I'm sure that had something to do with me wanting to write. It was pretty much all books in general though, that I was drawn to. It was just magic. It was just so magical. Oh my gosh, it was so amazing. What's your publishing path? So I'm aiming for traditional publishing. I just have felt that that's what I want to do. Self-publishing, I have thought about it, but it just feels like a little bit too much of an undertaking for me personally at this time. And I don't want to do it. So I'm going to work on the traditional route. Fingers are crossed. Let's see, what content do you bring to the AuthorTube table? So my goal is to bring a mix of vlogs following the process of getting traditionally published, my queering journey, and writing my second book, and then getting that one published. And then also weaving in the Akashic Records into how you can write your books, how you can paint your paintings, how you can do your art within the Akashic Records, like plan your projects out and work through your projects and all that kind of stuff. So that's where that's the content that I bring to the table. So what is that? Vlogs and like talking head stuffs? A mix. What's your biggest writing struggle? My biggest writing struggle is to show up and write, because sometimes I'm so tired, like literally I had to drag myself here right now. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in LA. It's super gloomy outside, which it hardly is ever gloomy, even though it's winter, right? Or whatever, what is it? November? Yes. Right now. And I'm like, all you want to do, the baby's asleep. Oh gosh. And I just thought I saw a move. The baby's asleep. All I want to do is like disappear in a ball and, you know, whatever. But I should be doing something else. I should be doing this. I should be doing that, whatever. So the hardest part for me is to just write. But like anything else that's like good for you, once I start, I'm like, oh my God, that felt amazing. Why should I just do this all the time? Why don't I remember that if I just start in 5 minutes, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, yes, in the zone, right? So I think that's the hardest part, is just remembering that once I get past the first initial pushing through the exhaustion, it's smooth sailing for the most part. I mean, it's still hard to do, right? The actual getting everything out of you, but you know, you get it, you get it. What's your best writing skill? Hey, I like this question. I like listening to when people know what they're good at. It feels rebellious almost, you know, even though it should not be, but it's still in this time, it feels that way. Anyway, my best writing skill, I think, is my voice. I have a very clear tone of voice when I write. I feel like if someone were to pick up my books or anything that I've written, they will know, they have an idea that it was me, you know. I like that a lot. And I remember the way that I started honing my voice was that I saw someone make a video about this, and there's a name for it, and I don't remember what the name is. It was something like, I bet this light is messing up this whole video too, isn't it? Oh my gosh, didn't even think about it. Anyway, what's your best writing skill? What was I talking about? Oh, someone was talking about this in a video and I didn't realize it was a thing. What? This is real. This is it. This is me. This is it. What did I used to do? Oh yeah. When I was in high school, I found Less Than Zero by Bret Easton Ellis. And I don't know where I found that book, but I found it and I was obsessed with it. I was like, oh my God, someone sees me. I feel blah, blah, whatever. And so I would open up that book and I would copy paragraphs. I would copy a paragraph until I felt like that voice was in my body. And then I would start writing whatever I wanted to write. Apparently that has a name. And it is a tool that you can use. It worked great for me. And then of course, eventually you find your own voice, right? But it's like, okay, this is a style that I enjoy. How do I emulate that and make it my own? Well, first you just copy it. Like you just copy it, that's it. And you do get it into your body. And then once it's in your body, then you start to transmute it into something that is your own. But first, you know, you got to practice and practice, practice. And the way that I was practicing was straight up copying it. And then using, obviously coming up with my own stuff within that, his voice. And recently I also saw that he used to do that with Joan Didion's work, whom I like obsessed, right? So, that was cool. And anyway, my best writing skill, I do think, is my voice. And I do think it is different than his, although at a point it was very, very, very similar. Very similar indeed. Let's see, choose between questions 11 and 12. Let's see. If you're new to AuthorTube, what is your biggest AuthorTube question? Are you looking for any new channels to follow, betas, CPs, or other types of writer buddies? I'm just looking for, I look all the time for new, and now my feed just sends me new people, new writers to follow, but I would love to follow even other types of artists, like painters. I love watching people paint. I love watching people draw. I hesitate to say I can't draw because I can copy something. If you give me a doodle to look at, I'll doodle it right back at you. But coming up with a doodle, pretty much impossible for me. I'm just like, there's a block there, and maybe the block is that I think I can't draw, so then I just don't come up with stuff. But anyway, that's a conversation, I guess, for another day. But I would just like to follow more artists in general. And if you have any people, and what just came to my mind for some reason was like even like baristas, or like things like random things, florists. Oh my God, I actually would love to follow some florists. Ooh, I should just look for some of these people. Anyway, that's, yeah. How fun, right? Just like interesting and so visually captivating. Let's see, what are you most excited for during this new fresh start on AuthorTube? I am looking forward to making myself proud. This is going to be the 4th video that I post this month, and I don't know if I've ever done that. I think I started YouTube 2 years ago. It was after it was just before I got pregnant with my second, who's now 2.5. So that must have been about like 3-ish years ago. Oh my gosh, really? Anyway, wow. So I wanted to do the thing. I wanted to be on here, and I wanted to be part of the community, and I wanted to be amongst it. And it just wasn't happening for me because pregnancy is really difficult for me personally. And it was like, I can't do it. I just like legitimately cannot do it. Won't do it. So I didn't do it. And now I'm like, done having kids, baby. 7 months postpartum, feeling great. And I just am feeling so called to be here. And like I said, I wasn't even going to post a video, but I feel strongly about being here. And so even if this video is a little bit like wonky or something, I think I'm going to post it anyway. We'll have to take a look and see. If you see it, then give me a pat on the back, because I will feel like I deserve it. Banging something out in whatever 30 minutes it's going to be. Yeah. So anyway, thank you so much for being with me. I hope that you come back, and leave me a comment for any random pages that you know of. Even if they're writers too, obviously, I will still follow writers. But yeah, and send me your own stuff. I'd love to see your pages and what you're doing and all those things. So anyway, thank you so much. I'll see you